morning, class. Today we're going to be learning one of the most basic skills in basketball, but it also is a very fundamental skill that anybody who has ever played basketball has had to learn. And I believe that it doesn't matter how athletic you are or if you even like sports, that you can learn how to do this skill. This is the skill of shooting the basketball. Now, if you learn these 5 steps that we're going to go through today, you can become a very proficient shooter. Step number 1, we have to worry about our feet and our legs. So you'll notice that there is this 3-point line that's running parallel to the basket. I'm going to want you to put your feet on that line and square up to the basket. Now, the reason I want you to put your feet on the line is because it's helping you get your feet parallel and get you in this, what I like to call a triple threat position, which will come in a later lesson. But anyways, the basic position, triple threat position, your feet are parallel to this line and you're squared with the basket. Now, after you've squared up, I want you to give a little bit of a slight bend in your knees and a little bit of a slight bend in your waist. Now, the next thing we need to look at is what about our hands? Now, hand placement is key when it comes to shooting a basketball. So you'll notice that there are these awesome lines that are running this way on the basketball. And these lines can be very helpful because you can put your hands right on the lines and it gives you a good guide as to where to put your hands. Now you'll notice when you look like this, my dominant hand is on the back of the basketball and my non-dominant hand is on the side, maybe slightly towards the front of the basketball. Now what's important about this is that your dominant hand is going to give the power, at least the arm power in the shot, and your non-dominant hand is going to just guide the shot. So here we've squared up, we've got our hand placement right. Now what's next? Well, our arm placement is important too. Now, what the key thing that you need to take away from your arm is it needs to be as close to 90 as you can make it. And you want the ball to be raised above your forehead. It's looking something like this. Now this is important because you don't want to be shooting with flared elbows because that tends to make you use both of your hands instead of just one hand, making your shot not as accurate. So after you've gotten all this down, you're in a good position, the next thing you need to do is the follow through. Now the follow through is the straightening of your legs, torso, and arms, especially your dominant arm. Now when you follow through, it's going to look something like this, and you're going to flick your wrist at the end. Now the flick of the wrist is a very important part of this because you want to put a lot of backspin on the ball. And what backspin does is it makes the ball more accurate, and therefore you'll score more points. So flicking the wrist is what causes that backspin on the ball. So here we go. We're all set up. We're ready to take our shot. Line our feet up with the line. We're square with the basket. We're here. And boom. Now one thing that you need to really be mindful of is you don't want that ball to drift down here because then you cannot see the basket. The reason you want that ball above your forehead is so that you can see the basket. And you want to be able to see the front and back of the basket. Preferably when you're taking a shot, look at the back of the basket. There, for some reason, your mind is very powerful and you can see depth. And so when it sees the back and you line up, your shot's likely to go towards the back and instead of the front of the basket. So let's walk through this really slowly. So we're going to line our feet up. We're square with the basket. We're square here, our hands in the right position, arms at 90s, and then we got our follow through with the flick of the wrist. This is what it's going to look like in real time. All right, so now that we know what it looks like in real time, this is what I want you to do. There's a couple drills that we need to go through. Now, drill number 1 is getting you able to flick your wrist, making you more proficient at getting that nice backspin that you need to have a good shot. So you're going to start just like you would on any other shot, but instead of the ball going forwards, I want you to shoot it straight up above your head and put as much flick on the ball as you can to get nice strong backspin. Looks something like this. Now, skill number 2, or drill number 2, is getting you to use your dominant hand for most of the power, so that you're not tempted to push the ball, but instead use that one arm to gracefully shoot the ball. Now, how we're going to do this one is you're going to set up like so, and you're going to get in that position, and then you're just going to drop this arm once you be here and just shoot towards the basket. I want you to do that a couple times. See how that feels. Now, once you have these proficiently, this is what I want you to do. I want you to come back to the 3-point line, and I want you to shoot 5 free throws. Now, I'm just going to shoot a couple just to show you how it looks. All right, now that is how you shoot a basketball. Now, before we end, there is a couple of quiz questions I need to ask you. Quiz question number 1: how far apart are your feet during a shot? Quiz question number 2: at what angle does your dominant arm hold during the shot? And quiz question number 3: what causes the spin on the ball during your shot? Now, that's it for your basketball, but before we go, I want you to meet one of my students, and she's going to show you how to shoot a basketball. Here we go. Go ahead and show them how it's done. Now, as you notice, that was perfect leg placement, perfect on the arms. There was flick on the ball. You saw that she was raising tall and making a nice arc on the ball. Beautiful shot. I want to see you shoot just like this in the future. See you later, guys.